It's book haul time. I have quite a few books that I have acquired within the last month, so I thought we could talk about all of the books because there's a lot. Let's go. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sam and I have a book haul, and I haven't done a book haul in a while because I am supposed to be on a book buying ban. However, in my defense, most of these books I did not buy. They were a lot of Christmas gifts. A few new releases that I did purchase myself, but most of them were Christmas gifts. So I only broke my book buying ban for new releases. And that's usually an exception to the rule anyways. I have 23 books to share, and I tried to choose all of the books that I have acquired since my December TBR because I feel like that was the last time that I really talked about a lot of books that I had purchased or acquired. So all of these, I think, have been acquired after December 1st. So this is like December and January haul. These are in absolutely no particular order. I did not separate them by genre or anything. So we are literally just going to roll with it. Let's go. First up, I got the last two books in the off-campus series, The Goal and The Legacy. The Legacy is technically a bunch of short stories about the characters from the first 4 books, but I am super excited for both. I've been putting this one off for a while because I'm not so sure how I feel about the trope that's in it. But I gotta finish the series, so we're still gonna roll with it. We're still gonna read it. I've been putting it off, but I'm ready. I need to read this soon. But this series is basically a college campus hockey player romance, new adult, super good, really like it. The Deal was one of my top 5 books that I read last year, so I can't wait to finish the series. Next up, we have the 7th volume of Monstrous. This is an adult fantasy graphic novel. It is super complex, super complicated, very dark and gory, but really fun, and I am absolutely dying at the end of this book. I cannot wait for the next one to come out because I need it to be over, honestly. Like, I need a conclusion. I need closure. And I have not gotten that yet, so we're still waiting. Next up is Bloodmarked. This is the 2nd book in the Legendborn series, and this is by Tracy Deonn. Dark academia, young adult, early college setting, King Arthur retelling type of inspiration, but also a lot of like ancestry and different types of magic that are kind of competing, and different groups of magic users that are competing, and it is so much fun. This book especially took things to a completely different level. Like, the first book was good, but wow, this book just completely changed the game. I don't know how I'm gonna survive waiting for the next book. It's been like 2 years between books 1 and 2. I can't wait another 2 years between these. Like, I cannot. Next up was one of my most recent purchases, and that is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This book just came out. It is another dark academia college setting, this time at Yale. We don't have King Arthur, but we do have like magic and demons and dark forces and all sorts of things. The first book is Ninth House. I absolutely loved it and have been waiting like 4 years for this book, so cannot wait to reread Ninth House so that I can read this book finally. Next up, I did go to a book fair that had really cheap books, so I picked up this copy of Fallen in Love, which is a little I think it's short stories, but it's like a little companion novella to the Fallen series by Lauren Kate, and I love that series, and this was the only one that I didn't have in hardback, so since it was there and it was only $5, I decided to complete my collection. Next up, I got 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. Same author that wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I loved that series, except the last book I wasn't a fan of, but I really, really liked the first 2. So I am very excited. I love young adult thrillers. Anything like One of Us is Lying or A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, like, that is my jam. So I don't even know what this is about. Like, I have absolutely no idea what it's about, but it's Holly Jackson, so I'm gonna trust her. Next up, I have The Whispering Dark. This is a young adult horror, I think. And I'm a little confused. I know we have Delaney, who is deaf, and she ends up at this like prestigious school, but she starts running into issues with professors who won't accommodate her disability, and like there's something that she can do that's paranormal. I don't know if she can see ghosts or something to that effect, but we also have Colton, who died when he was 9 years old. And somehow he and Delaney meet, but he's ordered to stay away from her, and she's hearing voices, but then like it starts to sound like there's some sort of romance between them, but like, so I guess he's not 9 years old anymore. I'm thinking, unless I'm reading this wrong and it tears them and their forbidden partnership apart. I mean, that sure seems, I mean, it doesn't say romance. So I don't know. I'm intrigued. I have been wanting to read more horror, so I think this is a good start. But I am a little confused by the blurb. But we'll see. I am hoping to pick this up pretty soon. Next up, we have House of Leaves. I have seen other people read this, and I've heard mixed reviews, and I also am very confused about this one as well. I mean, I've read the blurb, but I'm not really sure what's like real life and what's part of the story. But I know we're focusing on like a house, and a young family, and the house is bigger on the inside than on the outside. And it's a horror, so I am intrigued. I do really want to read it, because again, I want to read more horror, so we'll see how this one goes. Next up, I got The Ballad of Never After from Fairy Loot. This is the second book in the, what's the first book? Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which is the companion series to Caraval. This book follows Jax, or the series follows Jax, and a girl, and I haven't read the first book yet, and I haven't read the second book yet, because I know that the first book ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm afraid that the second one does as well, so I am waiting for the third book, which I think comes out this year, so we are waiting. Next up was another very recent purchase, and that is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This also just came out this month, and this is the companion sequel series to The Cruel Prince. We are following Oak, the younger brother of the main character in The Cruel Prince. I had very mixed feelings about The Cruel Prince, but I also think I read it at the wrong time. I read it right after ACOTAR because somebody told me it was very similar. It is not. So I do think that I might have enjoyed it more if I hadn't gone in expecting ACOTAR. So I am very intrigued by the series. I am very interested and kind of want to reread The Cruel Prince before I read this. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. Next up is one of my most exciting buys. I didn't even buy this, I got it for Christmas, but I have the first book of the Stormlight Archives, The Way of Kings, and it is split into two parts. So like this is one book in two parts, which does make me a little bit nervous because that is a lot of pages. I don't know what the series is about, but I know it's an adult high fantasy, and I know it's by Brandon Sanderson, and I really liked Mistborn, so I wanted to give more of his books a shot. So I asked for these for Christmas, and I am excited. I don't know when I'm going to read them because I'm also a little bit nervous, but I am hoping to start them fairly soon. I'm also not sure if I should like if I put this on a TBR, do I put both since it's one book, or do I just put like part one? I don't know, but this is a lot of pages and it makes me nervous. Next up, I have this really nice edition of Animal Farm and 1984 by George Orwell. This was a gift from my mother-in-law. I have read both of these books, one in high school and one in college, but I didn't have a copy of either one, so now I have this really nice volume, which is super exciting. Next up, I have Mitch Albom's For One More Day. This was a gift from my brother-in-law for Christmas, and it's his favorite author. I've read a couple Mitch Albom books, and I liked them, so I am excited to give this one a shot. We'll see. Next up was another gift from that same brother-in-law. He got me 3 books, and these two make me a little bit more nervous. So he also got me We Were Liars and Family of Liars. I have never read these. I have heard about them, and I actually know how this one ends because I saw a spoiler, which is why I've been avoiding it. But now I'm kind of intrigued, and I feel like knowing where it's going might actually make it easier for me to read it, and I am very intrigued about this one. So I definitely want to give these a shot. I am excited to read them. I have not read them yet. And he keeps asking why I haven't read them yet. This is just what I do. I collect books and then it takes me a while to read them. But I will get to these. Next up, I have Duel of the Vampire Lord, which is the 3rd book in the Married to Magic series. I really, really like the series. The first 2 books were so much fun. I think the first one was my favorite, but the second one was solid too. These are upper level young adult into new adult fantasy books. They're all set in the same world, but they follow different characters, and they're basically just forced marriages that turn into romance. And they're good. I like them. And the books themselves are freaking gorgeous. Like, this is just the standard edition. I got this off Amazon. Like, this is amazing. I am absolutely obsessed with these books. Next up, from that same book fair, because it was super cheap, I got Misbehaving by Abby Glines. This is part of her Seabreeze series. I don't know which book it is. I don't remember. But I am trying to collect all of them because I really want to read the series from start to finish. I've read a couple of them, but not in order. So I like want to actually read the whole series at some point. Next up, also from that book fair, I got a Lisa Jewell book. This one is Invisible Girl. I don't know what it's about, but I've liked other Lisa Jewell books, so she's a thriller author I trust, so I'm gonna pick it up. Next up is a book that I'm so excited about. This was another Fairy Loot book, and this is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This is by Heather Fawcett, and basically we have Emily Wilde, and she has been creating this encyclopedia for fairies, and she also has like this academic rival, Wendell, I think, and there's like secrets with the fairies, and so we've got like secret fantasy stuff, but also like rivals to lovers, and I am excited. I'm getting fantasy romance vibes, I'm getting like mystery fantasy vibes, I love fairies, like I'm just very excited. Plus, look how pretty this is. Next up, I got Beautiful Disaster. This is by Jamie McGuire, and it is a new adult college romance that follows Abby and Travis, and Abby's like the good girl, Travis is the bad boy. Somehow they end up in a bet, and if he loses, he has to stay abstinent for a month, and if she loses, she has to live in his apartment for a month. We all know where this is going, and we're all excited, I hope. Last up, we have All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I don't know a whole lot about this. I know that it's an age gap romance. I'm pretty sure he's her landlord. She's moving back to a place that was once home, but like it's not super easy for her. Small mountain town. I'm excited. I'm intrigued. I've heard amazing things about this book and this author in general. It's quite a long book for a romance, but I am excited. This is one of those books that like I kind of want to annotate, but I've never actually like fully annotated a book before. I've tabbed a couple, but I've never like done the full annotating thing. This might be the one that we have to start with. Alright, those are 23 books that I have recently acquired. I really didn't buy that many of them. I think I bought like 5, so most of them were given to me. Thanks, Mom. And that's all I got. So if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and the little bell icon will notify you when I post. Most of these books will be coming up in very soon reading vlogs and TBR games, so keep an eye out for that, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!